What's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Welcome to my daily 10 a.m. video. I want to thank you for tuning into this video. Trust me, you're not going to regret it. We have some highly controversial yet very important stuff to talk about here, folks. Will Bitcoin replace precious metals? I mean, both of these assets do go against the grain. You are in complete control of your wealth. We got some very interesting stuff to talk about in this video, folks. After you like the video, make sure you're subscribed because I will always give you the newest, latest, freshest, most up-to-date recent information in the world of precious metals. Now, we have several different articles we're going to be covering. First one is 10 experts telling us which asset they'd rather hold for the next 10 years. We also have another article talking about should you buy gold or Bitcoin. The third one, just straight up, will crypto replace gold? And you can see, obviously, this is going to be a very interesting video. I would love for you to participate. Let me know, do you think that Bitcoin could or will replace gold or silver? Or do you think that's impossible? And do you invest into either of these, both of these, or just one? Do you only invest in gold or do you only invest in a Bitcoin, and why? Now, we have to start somewhere. There's a lot of different information, but I just want to break down. I love that they gave 10 different experts' opinions, right? Because there's going to be so much context, so many different points to be made, and I think that's going to be a great way to kick this off. So let's jump into it. As Bitcoin continues its meteoric run, more investors are now reviewing the long-standing comparison between the famous crypto and gold. Bitcoin crossed the $1 trillion market capitalization mark on Friday, while gold touched $1,784. Insiders surveyed 10 experts to see which asset they'd rather hold for the next 10 years and why. Now, I've been investing into Bitcoin since around 2016. I've been investing into precious metals a little bit longer, so I'm very familiar with both, right? I've taught a lot of people how to invest into Bitcoin. I've been doing that for years, so I'm very comfortable talking about both as I understand both types of investments. Now, as Bitcoin continues its meteoric rise, breaching new records and crossing the $1 trillion market capitalization mark in just the last week, more investors are assessing the long-standing comparison between the famous crypto and equally well-known asset class as gold. Both assets, experts say, are often seen as ways to diversify a portfolio or hedge against fiat currency inflation, brought about by what some observers see as unsustainable fiscal and monetary policies. Now, obviously, banks don't want you to invest into either of these, right? When you are investing into things that are pegged to the dollar, you are still giving your money to them. They are still in control of you. When you're in debt, you're a slave to the system. It's a power move. They don't want you to transfer their fake money into real money or any type of money that they cannot control. Yet until recently, it was rare to see Wall Street analysts, chief executive, or established investors seriously compare the two assets. Bitcoin, commonly referred to as digital gold, has historically been seen as risky speculative investment for those looking to profit in the short term. Gold, meanwhile, has always been considered a safe haven asset. So now, this was when Bitcoin was $57,000 per coin. So obviously this is when all the hype was, this is when all the hype was there. Right now, Bitcoin's sitting at 32,000. So you can see there's not as much hype behind it. But, anyways, I do want to see what they're talking about here. So this is the first one, holding gold. My vote would be for gold because it has thousands of years of a historical record as a store of value, has 1/5 the volatility of Bitcoin, and doesn't face the same competition risk. And that is true. There is definitely there's thousands of different types of crypto. You got Ethereum, which could definitely be a runner-up or even replace Bitcoin at some point. You have a lot of different types. And you have Bitcoin Gold, you have Bitcoin everything, right? So it could definitely get a little stale when there's so many. If there was just Bitcoin or just Bitcoin and Ethereum, it'd be a different story. But since there's so many cryptos, it does kind of water it down and make it not as stable. Now, I definitely see the point he's making, right? Thousands of years versus this new crypto that might not even last a couple years. Well, I mean, it's been here for a while, but didn't really get seen as a real investment till recently. Now, another point I want to make, and this is kind of what sparked this video. I was doing a video with Rick Harrison talking about why it's so hard to find silver right now. Rick Harrison from Pawn Stars, right? And the lady asked, what do you think about gold right now? And he said, well, or silver specifically. And he said, well, look, there's so many different types of investments now. You have Bitcoin. Everyone's investing in different things, and it kind of takes the spotlight away from some that are better than others. And it did make sense, right? Everyone and their mom knows about Bitcoin now, and it's so easy to download Coinbase. Plus, there's so many Coinbase ads on YouTube. It's if you're going to think about investing, the first thing you're going to think is Bitcoin. You're not going to think physical silver. I mean, unless someone tells you about it, you probably wouldn't even cross your mind. So it does make sense. But anyways, number 2, gold and silver have been stores of value and mediums of exchange for at least 4 millennia in every civilization in every corner of the world. It has unmatched accessibility to people of all economic standing and technological knowledge. And gold is the ultimate currency of central banks, silver of the people. I like that. There is room for crypto too, since the digital nature is fundamental difference from gold and silver, but that characteristic also ensures that cryptos will never replace gold and silver and will ultimately improve the metal's value, that's a very good point. Right? People can't really compare the two because they're two completely different types of investments. I mean, yes, they're both going against the grain, but physical gold and silver, that's tangible. Bitcoin is digital gold, right? They even mine it off the blockchain. So it's very similar in a lot of different ways. There's only 21 million Bitcoin, period, that will ever be found, right? They've already found around like 17 million. So there's only a couple million Bitcoin left for them to get mined. And then once it's that's all. There's no more Bitcoin that will ever be mined. And the ones that are in circulation, the 21 million, that's it. And think about how many of those Bitcoin are lost in wallets, or people die and they didn't give someone else the password, or lost, there's a lot. So that there's also room for scarcity in that perspective. But regardless, we are advancing into a new technological era, a new digital age. If you think about a sci-fi movie in the future, the money would be something like crypto. It wouldn't be, $5 bills and stuff. No, it would be something like crypto. But like this guy even says, nothing, even digital currency, will ever replace gold. It would only improve the metal's value, because nothing is like gold. So number 3 is gold is long considered to be the safe haven asset of choice. And while Bitcoin is the new kid on the block, it's debatable that it will eat into gold's market share of a number of reasons. Bitcoin and gold both have significant advantages over fiat because neither can be diluted or debased. There is a possibility that Bitcoin could one day cease to exist through hostile legislation. Some Bitcoin derivatives have already been banned. So companies such as Facebook, who have attempted to start crypto, have been prevented from doing so. So while Bitcoin is a more recent form of investment that is certainly receiving a lot of hype, gold has longevity, and that's highly, and that's retained through its value of centuries. Whether Bitcoin will offer the same level of longevity is highly questionable. And that is very, very true. And one of the assumptions underlying Bitcoin's bull case, its limited supply, right? What I was just talking about. There's only 21 million that will ever be in existence. So some extol Bitcoin as a portfolio diversifier, but it also has far exhibited higher correlations to equities than gold, particularly during periods of equity market stress when diversification tends to add the most value. The demand for Bitcoin may be over its skis relative to likelihood, and that it's carving out a significant economic or financial use case. Now, Bitcoin is definitely beneficial in the way that it's a digital coin with instant transactions across the globe with zero to little fees, and it's Bitcoin, right? There is no Bitcoin of China. There's no Bitcoin of USA. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. That's universally accepted, kind of like gold and silver, right? That's very beneficial. Now, let's keep on going down. Bitcoin bulls. So here's the people that are talking about why they would rather have Bitcoin. Bitcoin is 100 times improvement over gold as a store of value, which I could see, right? I mean, when you put your money or when you put your crypto in a cold wallet, that's offline. Now, hot wallets are wallets like Coinbase, where if you keep your Bitcoin on Coinbase, that's very risky, because if Coinbase goes offline or if Coinbase shuts down, your Bitcoin's gone, right? They're basically holding your Bitcoin for you. Third-party app. You don't want to do that. Download Exodus or some wallet, the Jax wallet. Put your Bitcoin or any of your crypto in that wallet, because then you have the private key and literally no one can hack it, because you can only keep that key on one type of device at a time. So literally, unless someone kicks down your door, finds the piece of paper that has your 12-word phrase and types it in, they can never access your Bitcoin. It's unhackable. But at the same time, that could be extremely dangerous, because there is no Bitcoin police. There's no bank of Bitcoin, so you're on your own. Now, it's kind of like gold. That's why people like these things. But I do see benefits to both of these. Now, precious metals, physical gold and silver is obviously going to be the safest, smartest investment for forever. But Bitcoin does have potential, right? So the world is realizing this and beginning to reprice digital currency in real time. Although Bitcoin has increased hundreds of percent in the last few months, it's likely to continue appreciating in US dollar terms over the coming years. I suspect that Bitcoin's market cap will surpass gold's by 2030. I own no gold and have material percent of my net worth invested in Bitcoin. So obviously he's going to be biased. He doesn't own any gold, and I don't even know if he understands the true severity of precious metals or what's to come. So anyways, I'm not going to read all of these. I mean, they're just going to say the same things over and over. So hopefully this article brings some new perspective. So this one is, should you buy gold or Bitcoin? So in the past year or so, many analysts and others in the world of economics have predicted a recession. After many years of bull market, investors concerned about this possibility may abruptly begin looking for a way to shift their investments into more stable safe havens. So the traditional would be, gold, obviously. Then Bitcoin started 2009. This ushered a new era of currencies. I'm going to kind of skim through this and see if they make any new points that we already haven't discussed. So, blah, blah, blah. Gold usually performs well during corrections, because if it doesn't necessarily rise, it remains static while others decline. That's true. Bitcoin burst onto the scene. Blah, blah, blah. Right. Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator, there's only a supply of 21 million Bitcoin. Like I was saying, there's no Bitcoin police or bank of Bitcoin. You mine it out of the blockchain just like you mine gold out of the ground. And it gets harder over time to mine Bitcoin off the blockchain. The mining difficulty goes upwards, which makes it more expensive. Kind of like digging gold out of the ground, you have to use better materials, better equipment, which also makes it more expensive. So it's very, very similar. And if you're someone that doesn't really understand Bitcoin to that degree, and if I said anything that kind of shocked you, you might want to look into it, because a lot of people just wrote off Bitcoin instantly because it's digital, but it's actually a very fascinating thing. It's why I looked into it, because I'm someone who likes to learn and understand things. And Bitcoin is actually pretty insane to what it's doing. I mean, it is replacing the dollar right before our eyes. If you don't realize that Bitcoin is replacing the US dollar, then you're not looking at things the correct way. Or I can't say correct way, but you need to expand your mind or open, have an open mind. So anyways, then obviously, so the market isn't flooded. Bitcoin halves every so often. The amount of coins gets cut in half, so it makes it even more scarce. So the final Bitcoin won't be issued until the year 2140, and that's because of halving. They're trying to keep it scarce or keep the supply low, but also not run out too fast. So comparing the two, transparency, safety, legality, that's a pretty good point. And this is this is exactly right. Mount Gox, $460 million worth of Bitcoin went missing out of users' accounts, right? There is a lot of hacking, a lot of dangerous situations. Like I said, there's no Bitcoin police. So, if you send it to a wrong wallet or whatever, you are SOL. So rarity, Bitcoin and rare gold are pretty pretty rare. There's definitely some rarity angles to look at it from. You can't compare any of this type of stuff to stocks or, Bitcoin and gold are in a league of its own for several different reasons. But like I said, if you can't hold it, you don't own it. So volatility. But yeah, so now let's look at the main article that's just talking about, will it replace gold? So let's look at this. So obviously they talked about a lot of stuff we already did. So if your business is hit hard during a recession or market crash, gold can bail you out. But lately, the meteoric rise of crypto has sparked interest in it as the inflation hedge of tomorrow and the eventual successor to gold. As the founder of an alternative investment company, clients now more than ever are asking me about the future of gold, whether Bitcoin may eventually replace it. And that's why I've decided to finally share my thoughts on why I believe Bitcoin is here to stay, but won't be able to replace gold as the world's reserve asset, at least not anytime soon. And I love that. It really can't replace it. That's impossible. You're trying to tell me that a digital coin can replace a physical metal. That's impossible. Bitcoin's made out of thin air. You can't see it. You can't touch it. You can't hold it. You can't smell it. So how is that going to replace something that comes out of the ground that's used, especially silver, that's used for so many things, in technology? I mean, silver is used to make Bitcoin. Bitcoin couldn't even be made without silver and gold. So competitors are complements, and that's what I'm saying. They complement each other more than they compete against each other. So anyways, let's look in here. Dual hedge, that's definitely something I would look into. Investing into both, right? Bitcoin has some reasons to benefit. It definitely can rise thousands of percent in a couple of weeks or months, and that could definitely be beneficial to make profit and then use those profits to reinvest back into precious metals. So long-term price stability, secure storage and vaults, custodian oversight, real-world industrial utility, proven longevity, and that's talking about precious metals. Now, the main point here is real-world industrial utility. Now, yes, Bitcoin is also used for a lot of things nowadays, but the stuff that Bitcoin is used for things, but gold and silver makes the things that are used for the things. You see what I'm saying? Consider betting on both in 2021. So he's bullish on both, right? Bitcoin is down bad right now, but it's, and that's the funniest part is if Bitcoin was high right now, I'm sure that a lot of these articles would be more bullish on the Bitcoin side and be talking about how amazing Bitcoin is. But now that it's down to 32,000 instead of 60,000, a lot of people are kind of scared to talk about it as something that's so good to invest in. So if you're an entrepreneur, perhaps the worst thing you can do is sit on nothing but cash savings. And that's definitely true. To protect your business in the event of large-scale inflation, consider diversifying with assets that aren't correlated with the U.S. dollar, such as Bitcoin and gold in 2021. And there you go, right? I mean, if you're investing in anything that's pegged to the dollar like stocks, it's like switching seats on the Titanic. It's going down regardless. So you got to protect your wealth. You got to invest in the things that you are in complete control of, and that is Bitcoin and precious metals, crypto and precious metals. If you don't like crypto, that's fine, but that is the truth, that those two are the only ways to really take the power away from them and control your wealth. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. The 3 links to these articles will be in the description. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I'd love for you guys and gals to participate. There's a lot to talk about here. I know some people don't really care for Bitcoin, don't really care, for any given extent. But I'm telling you, investors need to learn how to adjust and adapt. We are heading into a new digital age. Bitcoin is becoming more and more relevant with everything accepting Bitcoin, PayPal, Amazon will. I mean, Bitcoin's everywhere. And since it's an investment, since there's a low supply, high demand and there's money to be made, it would be silly not to look at it. Yes, you can stay true to your silver stacker that, oh, it's physical and I'm going to hold my gold and silver. But if you're an investor, you can't be closed-minded. You can't be hard-headed and just say, I'm not going to touch that because it really has a lot of potential, and it does have a place in the world. Definitely a much better place than any type of fiat currency has, if you want to ask me. But anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you thought this video was educational, informational, at least entertaining, make sure to smash the like button. Doing a 47K giveaway soon, so make sure you're subscribed. Click the bell so you instantly get notified every time I post. My upload schedule is 10 a.m., 5 p.m., 10 p.m. Eastern Standard. So yeah, I upload a lot, make a lot of content, always keep you in the loop, giving you the inside scoop. Thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.